little presentation here. I made a cute little, I do my homework, guys, sometimes. I made a cute little PowerPoint here for you guys on this. If it will actually present. Come on, present. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys, here's legal PowerPoint on why AntiSlap does not apply. All right, so we're going to get into it today. I like making PowerPoints. Actually, oh, by the way, Cash says, what caused you and Nick to fall out? No fallout. No, this is me. Don't misunderstand, Cash. This is me having a problem with his legal analysis. This is not about Nick as a person. People can think how you want as a person, right? You can think Nick is bad, Nick is good, Nick is whatever. That's your choice. I don't give a fuck what you think about Nick or don't think about Nick. That's your own choice, right? But what I am critiquing Nick on is his legal analysis. Let me be very clear. This is not ad hominem of Nick. I know some people out there. I know you guys. I know who you are. I know you guys, some of you want ad hominem attacks. You want people to come at people with personal attacks, people to call them names, people to say that. All I am doing is giving an alternative, different legal analysis. That's it, right? And his method of legal analysis, his perspective. That's all. There's no personal part of this. I don't care. His haircut, which is probably very similar to mine anyway. So whatever, right? None of this is about this. It's about the law, right? So why does AntiSlap not apply? This is a legal analysis. These are the legal reasons, right? 3 reasons why Nick is wrong, but more generally, why AntiSlap doesn't apply. There are 3 main reasons here. First of all, number 1, this is not a defamation case. And I know what you're saying. Well, legal mindset. That California statute doesn't just apply to defamation cases. Oh, that's correct. But it's a fundamentally different analysis when it is a defamation case versus a not defamation case. It's a wildly different analysis. So when you are looking at this mistakenly as a defamation case, you're completely wrong. But even with the anti-slap defense, it doesn't protect you if it's not a defamation case. Second, and this is the case we just read, the Williams and Sonoma case, Smith versus Williams and Sonoma. The claim does not spring from protected language. So the claims do not originate solely based on Disney's tweet. So Disney's tweet is not the origination of the problems here. It goes beyond that. And third, even without the Disney tweet, so even if Nick was 100% right, so let's assume Nick was right, that wouldn't bar this claim. Let's pretend, let's put on our suspension of belief and believe that Nick was 100% right about the tweet and it was protected under anti-slap. Gina would still prevail. That's what is the biggest thing that defeats that argument. So let's look at this. Let me explain it like a child, because sometimes lawtism needs to be explained in a very childlike way. So let's do this. Defamation case, right? This is a defamation case. So a person says something defamatory. So maybe you say, hey, you're a felon. Hey, you have AIDS. Hey, you're guilty of domestic abuse. That was Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, right? You're guilty of domestic abuse. You're a sex abuser. You're a criminal. That's defamation, right? So in a defamation case, something defamatory is said, and then the person or company who is damaged by that sues. So let's go to the analysis and let's apply anti-slap. So let's say that something was said, but it's protected. It's protected speech. Let's say it's a tweet that says, you are a nasty, evil Republican. Or let's say it says, you love Joe Biden. Or let's even say this, Bud Light. Remember Bud Light? You know how many people attacked Bud Light? Why didn't Bud Light sue everybody? Why didn't Bud Light sue everybody? Because that would have been covered by anti-slap. Because that would have been protected speech. There's no claim. There's no claim. You have to have that speech. And then once that speech is wiped out, no claim. Now, you can have multiple tweets or multiple statements that led to defamation, and then you'd have to analyze each one in a case-by-case basis. But a defamation case with AntiSlap, it gets wiped out. But that's not what we have here, guys. It's not what we have here. What we have is Gina Carano's case. This is Gina Carano's case, okay? Let's see what we have here. What we have is Gina Carano. See, the first was just an AB, right? This is ABC. Gina Carano makes various political statements. She makes statements about COVID. She makes statements about voting. She makes statements about about online bullying, right? So Gina makes various political statements. She's exercising her First Amendment speech. And then Disney, as a company, reacts in several ways. And I have another PowerPoint that blows these up, that blows up these facts, and we'll focus on the facts. But it's important to understand that this is A, Gina speaks, B, Disney reacts. Okay? So what does Disney do? They chastise her in private. They attack her. They require a mandatory re-education. They want to put her through mandatory re-education. They allow employees to harass her, to mess with her, right? Next, they required her to attend a struggle session. They tried to get her struggle sessioned by 45 employees. Can you imagine that? 45, saying we're going to put 45 gay employees and let them yell at you at how you're a bigot. That's a struggle session, right? And you guys know I'm no fan of struggle sessions. And that was a Disney activity. That was not a speech. There's no protected speech. There's no public speech there. And then you get to the one fact that Nick brought up, the one fact that could be covered by AntiSlap. Could. I'm not saying would, but the only one they can bring up the AntiSlap defense on is the tweet that calls her abhorrent. We're going to look at that. We'll look at it again, right? Is that tweet calling her abhorrent. They then terminate her contracts and they then cancel her future content. And then C, Gina Carano sues. So look at the difference here, guys. We have AB, right? AB. This is ABC. Can you see how these are different? These are not the same. So let's pretend once again that Nick is right. Let's pretend he's right. And the tweet that is calling her abhorrent is struck. Look what happens. Do you see the difference here, guys? What's the difference? What's the difference? They amend the complaint and they take away that one tweet. And they might not even take away the whole tweet. We're going to look at the tweet in a second. I don't think they would even redact the whole tweet. I think at most they would redact part of the tweet. Not the whole tweet. Or they'd at least allow the reference that she was fired by tweet, because that's objectively true. It is a fact that is not political at all. It's just a fact that she was fired by tweet. That's a statement of fact. The action that can be reported regardless of slap is that she was terminated by tweet. The content of the tweet is irrelevant. The calling her abhorrent doesn't change the analysis. She still can sue under California law, even after all that. Labor claims do not require defamation. They don't require malicious intent or defamatory intent. Actions are the focus. And one fact alone, one of these facts alone is enough. And you can see here all of these facts: chastising her, re-education, struggle sessions, harassment, ignoring similar behavior by male coworkers, sending the tweet, terminating her contract, canceling future content. Even if you take that out, you've got all that. One is enough. They have 7 others. And that's me probably not even getting everything. Probably not even getting everything. This is just real quick, without discovery, what we've got. And mind you, this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is before discovery, and they only need one. And this is a statute where, as we heard from Ian, who was on that law panel, right, gave him an S tier ranking. So from Ian, this is pretty straight up. You do these things, and you are guilty under the statutes. You're convicted of the statutes, right? You have liability under the statutes, not criminal or civil, right? But let's go back here. Let's go back and look at the actual statute. to make sure we're applying this correctly. So when you look at this statute, here's the statute, wrongful discharge. Does this statute say anything about defamation? Where's the word defamation in this? Where is the word requiring defamatory intent? This does not require any of that. All it requires, look at this, the employer make, adopt, enforce any rule, regulation, or policy. Make, adopt, or enforce. Where does this require speech? Where does this require speech? It doesn't require it at all. This does not require speech at all whatsoever. It looks at the actions that might forbid or prevent an employee would going through his struggles. Let's go back here. So it's forbidding or preventing employees from engaging in politics or controlling or directing or tending to control or direct the political activity. So let's go back to the facts. Right? These are the facts that are alleged in the complaint, which, people can see. Say, look through, right? So let's prevent this again here. I'm going to throw this up right here. So these are all actions, right? You can look at the action of terminating our contract. Would chastising you privately, here's a question, would chastising you privately tend to curtail your speech, your political speech? Yes. Would requiring mandatory re-education chill your speech? Would have the tendency to chill your speech? Yes. Would struggle sessions do that? Yes. Would harassment do that? Yes. Would ignoring similar behavior from men? Yes. Would terminating the contract? Yes. Future promise, canceling future promise content? Yes. All of these things are sufficient to sustain it, right? One fact alone. Doesn't need speech. Doesn't need any speech. It's irrelevant. Is this live says here, you don't arrive at that tweet without there being dozens of emails that she will introduce with discovery. And we're going to have so much more. That's why people who are following this, people who have been into this know it, right? And once again, I don't blame anybody who hasn't been following it for not knowing it, not knowing what evidence is there that we know is there. It wasn't included in the complaint, but it is there, and we will get it with discovery.